Lopetegui has been sacked as the Real Madrid head coach just 3 months into his first season in charge. Well, Lopetegui only took over in the summer but made the worst start to a season of any Real coach in the last 70 years. Sunday's 5-1 thrashing by rivals Barcelona in El Clasico was their 5th defeat in 7 games and left them 9th in the Spanish league. Well, Real have not won in the league for more than a month, something the fans are also blaming on the players.
We
have very comfortable players who earn a lot of money and don't have feeling for the badge. Sometimes this is no longer Real Madrid, it's more players from all over the world. It is more business than football, and I don't see a compact team there.
I think they are fed up of victories and money. I think that if they are fed up of victories, they have to go somewhere else, and others with more eagerness should come. I don't see a team with hope, and the coach Lopetegui wasn't able to give them hope either.
Well, it's been a turbulent year for Lopetegui, who has lost 2 high-profile jobs in 5 months. The 52-year-old was sacked as Spain's head coach on the eve of the World Cup in June, when he announced his move to Madrid behind the Spanish Football Association's back. For more on that, we go live to our correspondent Lee Wellings from our London studio. Lee, this doesn't come entirely as a shock, does it?
No, it's not a surprise. No Real Madrid coach is going to survive 4 defeats and a draw in their past 5 league matches, 9th in the table. This was completely unacceptable to the president and the board and the fans, but a 5-1 defeat against Barcelona, whilst you suspected that Lopetegui would go quickly, that 5-1 defeat, there's no coming back from that, a humiliation for Real Madrid. And a strange scenario, of course, because they are the European champions. Many regard them as the world's biggest club. 8 of their players are on the 30-man shortlist for the Ballon d'Or, so successful were they. But I think Zinedine Zidane timed his departure very well. He could see that a lot of those players had peaked. And of course, Real Madrid don't now have Cristiano Ronaldo. He makes such a difference, could have won some of those games that ended in defeat with just a vital intervention, and I think the club are really missing him, and it's too late for Lopetegui.
Well, not a great year for Lopetegui, as we mentioned, but Lee, do you think what happened with Spain have contributed to his terrible time at Real?
It's an extraordinary situation, isn't it? There has to be a lot of sympathy for Lopetegui, because he was given this chance to manage a club that he'd have known there's no bigger job in club football than being the manager of Real Madrid. He'd done very well in how Spain had qualified. They looked very strong going into that World Cup. And his professionalism should possibly have carried him through for a good World Cup for Spain. But of course, he was sacked just 2 days before. Turmoil that the Spanish team out there didn't recover from. He certainly hasn't recovered, because going to Real Madrid under all this pressure, he hasn't settled down. Does it make him a really bad coach? No, of course it doesn't. And the way football works, he will be snapped up eventually by another club, perhaps even a big club. But it's just been a terrible and unforgettable few months for him.
Yeah, how do you think Real Madrid are going to move on from this, and who do you think will take that hot seat?
Well, they've definitely been lining up Antonio Conte, who hasn't been in work since he left Chelsea. But the reports within Spain are that his demands are high, whether it's the money, the terms and conditions. And some of the Real Madrid senior players haven't made the right noises about wanting him on board. So it's not certain that they will be able to get Antonio Conte, even though he remains the favourite. What it does mean is that Santiago Solari steps up from the Real Madrid B team. They like that progression. It's the progression that Zinedine Zidane made. And he has a very encouraging run of fixtures, easier fixtures coming up. So he could make a good start and could make a big claim for that job.
Lee Wellings, live from London. Thank you very much for that. Well, Inter Milan have moved into 2nd in the Italian Serie A thanks to a 3-0 win at Lazio. Mauro Icardi took his tally to 6 goals for the season, the Inter captain getting his 2nd of the match here in Rome. A 6th win in a row for the visitors, putting them 6 points behind defending champions Juventus. And LeBron James marked 15 years as a professional basketball player on Monday, but didn't get to celebrate as his Los Angeles Lakers lost again. LeBron's layup to JaVale McGee put the Lakers ahead at the Minnesota Timberwolves. But then a moment that we're not used to seeing from one of the game's greats. LeBron losing the ball with less than 2 minutes to go and helping the Timberwolves to 124-120 win. The Lakers have won just twice since LeBron joined in the summer. While the Milwaukee Bucks and Toronto Raptors were the only unbeaten teams in the NBA going into their showdown on Monday. Now it's just the Bucks. They won 124-109. Milwaukee's 7 victories makes this their best start to the season since 1972. Tennis now, Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal will go head-to-head for the world #1 spot when they play at the Paris Masters this week. Nadal still holds the crown and is making his comeback for the first time since limping out of the US Open. Meanwhile, home favourite Richard Gasquet has booked his place in the second round of the tournament. He beat Canadian teenager Denis Shapovalov in straight sets 6-4, 7-6. Next up for him, it's defending champion Jack Sock. The World Gymnastics Championships are taking place right now in Doha. China took the gold medal in the men's team event on Monday, but only just. They edged out Russia by only 0.05 of a point after a couple of below-par performances. But they all count. All 3 teams on the podium, China, Russia and Japan, earned an automatic spot in the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. Now to some athletes who get a bit of help against gravity in their quest for gold. This is the Indoor Skydiving World Cup, also known as body flight. Athletes fly about in a vertical wind tunnel, performing speed and free routines, either individually or in teams. More than 100 teams from 25 countries have taken part. Team France won gold in the 4-way formation skydiving, while a dynamic duo from Singapore won the dynamic 2-way event.